Hi everyone. It's hard to follow after that, but okay, I'm gonna try. I am Apoorva Mittal. My pronouns are they and she. I'm also part of the fiction cohort. I'm a light-skinned, genderqueer South Asian person. I have dark hair. I'm wearing a pair of glasses and dark brown lipstick and a black shirt. My background is a green screen with a picture of a cafe on it, and I'm going to read an excerpt from a short story of mine, Two Mothers and Tara. I hope you enjoy. I was dildo deep in my girlfriend when Shelly, my childhood best friend, called me sobbing. This time she was done. She was leaving her husband of 3 years for whom she had quit college. My girlfriend said she had heard the story multiple times, and I told her to go fuck herself. Vijay, my current best friend, roommate, and colleague, was more understanding. He even found another dyke who would sublease my apartment in our 5-star residential society, to which I was contractually bound for another 9 months. My boss, surprisingly, was the most understanding, as she reduced my notice period from 4 weeks to 2. I spent hours on parenting sites and Quora threads about how to be an adoptive parent, even though Shelly had not explicitly asked me to be one for Tara, her 8-month-old. Since I was moving back to our hometown to help Shelly raise Tara, of course it meant that I would be the second parent. Shelly wanted to rent an apartment, but I suggested we live in my childhood home to save money. No one was living there. It made more sense anyway. Shelly found my life and my principles, like calling Tara my nibbling instead of my niece, weird, but that didn't matter. We both loved each other. In those 2 weeks before my move, Shelly called me often. She was filled with doubts, afraid her husband would not let her go. I told her to just focus on packing her and Tara's stuff. At the airport, Vijay hugged me tight, asked me if I was sure about all this. So I went into a heartfelt soliloquy. How I was so thankful that I had met him, that if I were not gay and he were not gay, I would have dated him. And that it was going to be difficult, sure, but this was something I had to do, even though my relatives, most of whom were dead, thank God, would raise their eyebrows. But Shelly and Tara were my family, and they needed me. And if he ever became a single parent, I would uproot my life to help raise his child too. I was back in the house I'd left 15 years ago, the same bed I used to sleep in as an adolescent. It seemed like I was living a shadow life. The first few nights in the house, I woke up dreaming of Tara falling off the stairs, but then in the dim night light, I'd see them sprawled between their mother and me, and I'd go back to sleep. It wasn't only the nights that were an adjustment. Rohtak was a dusty small town. We lived right in the middle of the market area, busy with hawkers and foot traffic, halwais who sold cheap samosas, jalebis, and sabziwalas who overcharged for their mirchi and dhania. My editorial and publishing experience was of no use in this town, with no public libraries or bookstores. So I looked for teaching jobs. I did have a terminal Master of Fine Arts that was good enough to teach in colleges, but alas, no liberal arts colleges had ever existed in Rohtak. So I interviewed with the high school Shelly and I went to all those years ago. The chocolate brown and pastel yellow walls jumped at me as I walked to the principal's office. She greeted me as if she had always known I would come back asking for a job, though funnily, she didn't work at the school when I went there. It's not common to hire teachers without a background in education, she said. My pedagogy is sound, centering the student, giving space for students to think critically and make mistakes as they learn. And in my opinion, that's the most important education. The principal nodded, looking impressed. Her peppered bob and specs on a string were old school sexy. Shelly had told me that the principal was a spinster, never married, but her chiseled face and confident air made me think that she must have had a colorful past. At the end of the interview, she said, "You know, female teachers have to wear saris. It's the dress code." I laughed in a manner I thought was polite and then left. I have worn blazers and pants to work for 6 months and nobody has fired me yet. Probably because I'm the best dressed teacher in the entire fucking school. Thank you.